Globally, only 13% of people are engaged in the work they do every day. This means that 87% of people are just going through the motions, waking up, going to work, and leaving work without any sense of purpose, value, or meaning. I imagine a world vastly different to live in when these statistics are reversed. What will it be like when you wake up in the morning and know that the work you're about to do actually matters? What would it be like to work with people who are inspired by their work? What would team productivity be like? Company innovation? And outside of work, what would the impact of that have on your well-being, emotional health? What kind of friend or person would you be? What if you knew you were living up to your potential and not settling for anything less than you could be? This is the world that I want to live in one day soon. But it's up to us, and it's up to all of you. I believe that we can each be the change that we want to see. If we begin to learn who we are, if we learn how to gather courage, and if we learn how to face our fears. We've each been given a pen to write, and today is about owning your story. That pen is for this gift that we have called life. And as we think about great stories, it's important for us to remember that great stories do not just have endings. There's usually something that leads up to it, or else ultimately it lacks context and it lacks meaning. And in this society, what's idolized is the ending, being featured as the cover story of a major publication, or being recognized for some big accomplishment. But the trouble is, when the only thing that matters is that end result, we miss the entire story, and we miss out on the fun in the process. The truth is that one of the 6 human needs is growth, and we are all works in progress. Each day is an opportunity to learn more about who we are, the unique gifts that we have to share with the world, and why it matters. I look back to college as a place right here at Lafayette where so many of the ideas for what I'm doing today were planted. I left with lifelong friends, and even my best friend, who's now my co-founder of Globally Bold. Little did we know, running around here at Lafayette and Easton, that the ideas for making a positive difference in people's lives were being planted and cultivated, where nearly a decade later we would come together to bring this vision to life. After traveling to India last month, we've now, in less than 1 year, been to 3 continents, the US, Africa, and Asia, working with college students, professionals, and aspiring entrepreneurs who are seeking to find and live the lives they were meant to live. As I think about college, this time was about getting to know myself, and that self-awareness will serve each of you as a guiding light for every major decision that you'll have to make. 8.5 years ago, I had an opportunity to go to South Africa with the World Teach program. I was teaching entrepreneurship to 14 and 15-year-old kids. It occurred to me that summer that had I been born someplace else, my life could be drastically different. I decided I wouldn't take this life for granted. I came back to Lafayette and dispelled my dreams of becoming a physical therapist and changed my major. I changed my major while I was here, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. And I drove my parents crazy with each of those transitions. But by the time I had graduated, I had studied biology, anthropology and sociology, psychology, and economics and business. I had also worked in event planning, education, media, and finance. I encourage each of you to enjoy the learning process of this place and step out of your comfort zone at least once, because the magic happens when you're doing something you never thought you could do and never thought you could do. As you think about your journey here, it's important to remember this. And as I took my experience, I was learning all of these different things, and I had trouble figuring out where to get started. I was unemployed, and the only unemployed graduate at an event for Starting Block. My embarrassment about this quickly shifted to opportunity when the CEO and COO approached me about a summer internship. It was that summer that I read the Echoing Green publication, Be Bold, and read about game-changing leaders like Wendy Kopp, who dreamed up Teach for America while she was still in college. Starting Block was introducing me to this idea of what it meant to care deeply about a cause and want to fight for it, no matter how old I was. I took this passion and jumped on board with an exciting startup bringing real-time data solutions to schools. Although the venture failed within the first few months, I was thrilled to join over 100 fellows in the Starting Block Institute, people who were starting companies, starting nonprofits, and even philanthropy and social responsibility initiatives within big corporations as entrepreneurs. They had such unique stories, but I learned that I had a story too. And that story was worth sharing because people were listening for how they could join in to help me write it. When you surround yourself with people who don't settle and who aspire to become the best versions of themselves, you feel like you can do anything. So as you think about the ship that you're building to get to where you want to go, think about the people who you invite on board. Do they see problems and look the other way? Or do they keep your ship afloat and keep you moving in the direction that you want to go? As I was trying to channel this passion and this experience, I saw a lot of my close friends getting jobs at big companies, world-renowned companies, and coming from the startup background and not getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. That seemed really fun for me. So I thought the credibility, the security, the stability of that opportunity would be my next move. It proved to be a challenge to get there. As the decline notices were filling up my inbox, I found like I was treading against a current that was pulling the air out of me, all of that excitement that I had built. It was until a day that I was on Amazon.com and I came across this book, Now Discover Your Strengths. And I was called to remember why I was unique. It told me my top 5 talents that made me special. And I started walking into these interviews feeling rejuvenated and renewed with confidence that I could do this. Although the next few interviews didn't extend me offers, by the time I landed the offer at Bloomberg to join the digital ad sales division, I had 2 other offers waiting. And this entire experience of getting to know myself came so much in handy. I found myself at Bloomberg at one of the best companies in the world, working on some of the coolest digital and mobile products out there, and feeling like something was missing. I had this entrepreneurial itch that was coming back. And I thought the only thing that would make me happy was to become an entrepreneur again. I thought I would have been giving up everything that I had set out for, which was that stability and that security. Everybody knew Bloomberg. And to go for the uncertainty of life as an entrepreneur, I knew that I was going to have to gather courage, face my fears, and have a plan. I thought about it and put my plan into motion. I enrolled in professional coach training school to start building my skills so I could build deeper relationships with people as I cultivate and work with them to become the best possible versions of who they are. And I was fulfilling those requirements at night. During the day, I became involved as a leader in the diversity community, becoming a leader in one of the employee resource groups, which are meant to enhance the community at the firm. My efforts there led the group to grow from 40 people to over 100 people in just 1 year. And most importantly, the initiatives that had an impact for the people who worked there gained recognition from the global head of diversity and inclusion. Between these 2 activities, I found myself feeling like I was finding the missing link, and it was the purpose, value, and meaning in my work. Not only that, but I started surrounding myself with people who also believed in this value of purpose and started cheering me on to go for whatever it was that I wanted to do with my life. The next step was gathering courage and facing my fears. And I had to think, what was the craziest possible thing that I could do to face my fears? I had heard about Tony Robbins, and at one of his seminars, he does something called firewalk. And a firewalk is one of the most insane things that you could possibly think to do. It's literally standing before a bed of burning hot coals at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit and walking across it as a symbolic achievement of not letting fear get in between where you are, or where you were, and where you want to be. I left this triumphant experience feeling awesome. But when I came back, I still hadn't left my job. And I realized that I had been so absorbed in the end of the story that I had forgotten to appreciate and enjoy the process. It was in the process that I learned how to be a professional at one of the best companies in the world. It was in the process that I built sales and marketing skills that would be valuable in my work as an entrepreneur. And it was in the process that I began to cultivate the coaching skills that are a huge part of what we do. And it was also in the process that I now had this team of supporters saying, go for it, go for it, go for it. I had also saved up $20,000 of startup money, and I realized that every single piece of the equation was in place. And shortly thereafter, I left Bloomberg, and Globally Bold was born. I share this story with you today because you should know from somebody who's taken the leap that there will always be reasons why you shouldn't go for it. And I don't just mean leaving a company to become an entrepreneur, but those of you who need to make changes and transitions as you rise up the ranks of business. Those of you who want to become nonprofit leaders, and those of you who want to pursue your dream careers and dream jobs as you define them. There will always be reasons that can stop you before you even get started. Stories that you don't have the credibility, that you don't have the experience, and that you don't even have what it takes to succeed. But there are also reasons and stories that make you feel strong and that can empower you to believe in the dreams that you have that nobody else will be able to bring to life. The dreams that you have just waiting for you to get out of your own way. So as you pick up your pen in this story called life, don't let the days go by wondering what if, or what you could have, should have, or would have done. I'm calling to you today to use every moment to be more, do more, learn more, grow more, and strive more towards the future you want to create. As I think about the future, I see our kids growing up with mothers and fathers and big brothers and big sisters who exemplified possibility and never settled for anything less than they could be. So as you go forth and you witness adversity and you witness challenges, remember to be outstanding, to be fearless, and to be bold. I'm Torin Perez, co-founder of Globally Bold. Thank you for your time.